Good morning, everyone. This is Chichewa Wolfwoman. Second video posting today. It was a lively morning with information flowing through. So, completely different topic. Today we're talking about the middle world, so to speak. I'm not sure how else to put that in words, but that it came through really strong, and it's about the middle world, and it's about talking about our energies being trapped, imprisoned, and not being released so that they can continue to flow with the eternal, with the source, with the medicine wheel of life, however we want to see that or understand that, I should say. And so what is this middle world? Well, this all comes from ask and the answers will come. The answers will come when they're ready and when you're ready to digest them. As I mentioned before, you have to be able to take it in and understand it. And that takes just experience, layers, other teachings to resonate first. And I talk about for ourselves solely for us to be able to digest this information. And so what is the middle world? Well, the middle world, if I can give a visual, is if, just for the sake of understanding, this is the world we're on. Let's say this is our world, physical world that we are perceiving right now, that mind, body, and spirit, igniting the eternal flame. We function here in the physical form, though we are all energy and we're all connected and connected to the whole. We are part of the whole. We are all great spirit. Okay. So now it's our time to walk on, and we return to the Star Nation, or that's the belief system that works, that I understand. We return to the Star Nation, the whole, and so something happens along the way. Okay, so where did this all come from for me? Well, I lost my mother and went through this and started to begin to understand being able to support the energy of the spirit to return to the source. And in native tradition, sunflower seeds are placed next to the person that has walked on or is walking on to help guide them as a stairway back to the whole. And so why was this done? Because in support of them making it all the way there, full circle. I say everything continuing full circle, spiral. And so this middle world was created upon oppression. And oppression is about creating a prison. And just like we understand it in the physical world, we understand it to be the illusion. I talk about it as it being the illusion. Other people have talked about it as well. Shattering the illusion, lifting the veils, conspiracies, however we want to understand it. So oppression is held in the physical world, absolutely. And that's why there are some of us that are still sleeping. And so we see that. And some of us that are awake, and as we're waking, we are going through that process of shattering the illusions and lifting the veils, and so to speak. And so we see it on the physical. Well, now it's our time to walk on, for whatever the reason may be. And as we do that, depending on our conditioning, which is all part of this healing process on the physical world, is we're trying to heal the wounds, we're trying to uncondition ourselves, we're trying to return to source, mind, body, and spirit in the physical world, which is completely possible, absolutely. That's the road that we're on if we're walking the red road, and it is a duty of a warrior of light to continue to heal within, to shine without, to be that beacon for others, that lighthouse for others. And so it is the path that we're on, the red road here. And so depending on our conditioning and what has happened through our earth walk, we may feel when it is our time to walk on that we have wronged people, we have fears, we still have not woken up. So all these things, so at this point that we're about to walk on, play a huge role on whether we continue or we get stuck in the prison of the middle world. And so we notice that when people are on their deathbed, so to speak, we've heard those terms, they are asking for forgiveness. They have fear. There's so much fear. I remember watching my mom when she was passing, how much fear she had at first. So afraid. Didn't want the lights to go out at all. And so we hear about that. We hear, I didn't do what I wanted to do. And usually that's because of fears. I won't have time to see my children or grandchildren grow up. These are just things that we can all understand. And so these sort of things play a big role on getting trapped in this middle world. And this middle world was only created out of conditioning. And so our perceptions of ourselves have gone along with this. Perceptions of our world, perceptions of how things should be for us, all those things that we feel or don't feel about ourselves, because we don't honor ourselves, because we don't have self-worth or self-love, and all those things, all those wounds that we maybe didn't have the opportunity to heal for whatever the reasons are. That's not the point of this video, but whatever those reasons are, now we're at this point where we're about to walk on, and these wounds are still there. And so now it's time to walk on, and all these feelings come up. And so now we walk on and we move into this place called the middle world, because we feel like we cannot continue because we still perceive ourselves as a physical being. We don't perceive ourselves as energy, as the whole, as a part of the whole. That we're not functioning as just us. It's not ego. And so we're at this state where we're trapped. It's subconscious and conscious together. We're trapped in that this is who we are. And that this, for some reason, is all that there is. And that this is what represents who we are. And so being trapped there, that's what this middle world is the energies that go there are trapped in this concept of the physical. And so it's this middle world, as we're calling it, for lack of, I don't even know, and the energies go there. So imagine that. I'm trying to just give you a visual, and it becomes this prison. Who's using this energy? And these spirits and the energy of these spirits that are not releasing further. The oppressors. The oppressors are feeding off this energy because that was the purpose of oppression. Oppression is way smarter than I think a lot of us give credit to, as my head is hurting as I'm saying that, which is a very big sign that, oh, ding, maybe sharing some information that is making some energies not happy. So this middle world is where these trapped energies go. And then these energies are being used by oppressors, which we see functioning in the physical world just as much as they're functioning outside of that. And that is how we perceive things in the polarity world that we are part of, that we perceive polarity, black and white, good and bad, sickness and health, love and hate, so to speak. We live in this world that polarity exists, which oppression created. And therefore, that's where this middle world came from. Okay, so this is another reason why the Warrior's Light had the duty to be a beacon for others, so that we can release this, so that this stops to happen, so the energies can go full circle and we can reconnect as a whole. Even connecting with those oppressors eventually, and understanding that duality doesn't exist, polarity doesn't exist, and so they can be one and the same. But we need to break through that in order to get there. So this middle world is there. And so how are these energies going to release? Well, this is where we see these energies come back or get stuck. And so it's one or the other. They're coming back here to continue to try to do something that they feel that they needed to do, or they're staying trapped in this place, the middle world, and being used, their energies being used. And so it's imperative that we guide and help and support and protect as many as we can as a warrior of light, so that we can at least ensure on our part that we've done everything that we can, so that they don't move into this middle world and that they continue on to where they're intended to be. And this has a lot to do with, we see in the native tradition that it's one full 13 moon cycle that we honor the person that has walked on and said prayers, and we don't attend certain ceremonies, and all this is in place to support the spirit, the energy to move, to flow through. And so that if they are getting stuck, if they're on their way to that middle world, or they are even in that middle world, we have the ability to guide them, to continue to guide them, to support them, so that they keep going and connect back into the medicine wheel of life, and that there's no stagnant, that they don't become stagnant. And that's why it's important. And that's why important that when someone does walk on, that we place those prayers in place, and that we connect with feeling if that energy is getting stuck. And we've heard people say to us, I can still feel this energy near me, or I could still, and we can feel if that is an energy that's hanging around us and might come in dreams, because of unfinished business, we may call it, or whatever it is. And that's when we need to connect with and help that energy release back into the whole, to keep this medicine wheel flowing. And this is the medicine wheel of life. I mean, there's so many aspects of it. I mean, there's so many layers of the medicine wheel of life that as I continue to learn, I continue to be a student of the Great Spirit, I am just humbled each time. And so this is just that another teaching of the medicine wheel of life, which is all about connecting the full circle. So it's knowing that they are all connected, and that we need to free up this middle world and understand that this middle world is only exists from the perception that we carry from the physical world. And that is it. And that it is as real as it is because of the perceptions that people still hold in the physical world. And it is from the perceptions that the people hold in the physical world that are continuing to allow it to be and to feed it. And so we can easily say, as I'm hearing, okay, I'm talking about it, so I'm creating this perception as well. I'm only talking about it to let you know, as it came through very strongly this morning, it was never for me personally a place that even existed for me. I sat down with my husband today, and the conversation came up, and I said, you know what, I keep hearing about this idea of contracts. And I said, I really don't understand it, and I'm very open to honoring everyone's sacred point of view. And it's not about right or wrong. It's not that I know better than someone else or someone knows better than me. It's just perceptions. And I said, this contract thing, I just don't get it. A contract for me speaks on completely different terms, and so it just doesn't resonate with me. And that's okay. It doesn't have to resonate with me, or I don't have to completely understand it. But that's where this conversation came up, and all of a sudden this just all started flowing through. And that's just it. This, for me, it's not about that. For me personally, it's we walk on and we walk on. And if I have that as my perception in my life as I walk my earth walk, and I instill that knowing into my children, that middle world doesn't exist. That's all. It doesn't exist. And it's not about finishing business. And it's not about we didn't do things right. It's about healing the wounds within myself that I carry from my childhood, and ensure that my children know how to do that from a young age, so that by the time the children are my age, they're not doing that. They're not doing what I had to do. That's my job, is to ensure that they know how to heal themselves as they walk their earth walk. That they're not learning it at whatever age, 30 years old or whatever it is, and they're undoing things that happen to them. I'm not a perfect parent by any means. I'm imperfect as I am. But if I can instill them all the tools that they need, then as they walk their earth walk, when it's their day to walk on, there's no regret, there's no unhealed wounds, there's only knowing that they are imperfect just the way they are, and it's their time to walk on and return back to the Star Nation so that they can continue to keep the medicine wheel of life moving. And so again, really strong. Wanted to share that today, second video of the day, and sending love and light to you, blue light unto you. Until we meet again, Chimigwich.